for some reason we have a film critic here deciding to write an article criticising Scarlett Johansson. And just take a look at the lady in question. I mean, that face is, right here. No, here. Sorry, it's very hard to point. It's there. See her? See that face? That face? It's like, that is not a welcoming face. That's that kind of, what sort of smile is that going? Are you alright today? That's the person you feeling that. Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah, I'm alright. You see, this person has been asked to write an article. It's like, oh, please, write us a silly article so we can stick it on our webpage for people to read. Oh, yeah, sure. What do you want it to be? I don't know. Just have a go at Scarlett Johansson. Obviously, there was some business about Scarlett Johansson, and this is what it's about. And it was a while ago, though. It was like, oh, she was going to play a transgendered person, but apparently, a lot of people don't quite understand the concept of what acting actually is, and therefore, pretty much booed her off the role. I guess is the best way to say it. Bullied her off it. Yes, social media storm just smashed her into oblivion. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. What happened to this whole thing about women can do anything? Well, apparently not. Not if you're the wrong kind of woman. There's the wrong kind of man and there's the wrong kind of woman. This is all very clear. So here we have, an article by Simran Hans, or as I like to call her, Smug Face. Just that face. I can't put a word on it. It's just like, just that face. Scarlett Johansson could ideally play any person, but our world is far from ideal. Oh, right, okay, right. I know it's not an ideal world. Oh, we're going to show what reality is? Yes, let's do it. The actor's comments on casting are unhelpful to marginalised people. Art cannot be immune to political correctness. Art cannot be immune to political correctness. Oh, here we go. Now, what I like to do with articles such as this is, see how many progressive, wacky talking points they can sort of crowbar into it. Buzzwords that they like to use. I always, so when we find them, if I can remember, I might give a little clap. Just this clap. Just that one. Just a little. Well done, smug face, that's what I'll say. As an actor, I should be allowed to play any person or any tree or any animal, because that is my job and the requirements of my job. The actress Scarlett Johansson told As If magazine. Imagine you launch a magazine, you're gonna, what should we call it? As If. Oh, come on, you can do better than that, can't you? In an interview obtained by the Daily Mail, the Daily Mail obtained it. They obtained it like it was secret files. These secret files about the murder of JFK. They obtained it, you know what I mean? That has since gone viral. She later said her comments had been taken out of context and used as clickbait. Clickbait! Well, everything's fucking clickbait these days, sweetheart. I'm going to give this a clickbait title saying smug... No. I'll refrain from what I was about to say. Not exactly surprising coming from a woman who has played a cyborg. I know. Shouldn't it just be cyborgs that play cyborgs? Isn't it? Isn't that? I mean, I thought the robots were putting us out of jobs, but apparently we're putting them out of jobs. So, there's that, right? An alien. The fucking aliens. When are the aliens going to get a break, When are the alien community going to have someone they can look up to? A character that looks like them, And the disembodied voice of an artificial intelligent virtual assistant. Well, I'm glad she's stealing that job from an AI bot, because they're stealing everyone else's jobs, so it's about time it got done to them. But it's offensive, nevertheless, to hear a cisgender... There we go. Didn't take long, did it? A cisgender. By the way, I completely oppose. I don't even recognise that as a thing. That, to me, that's like Russia and Kosovo. Right. I am Russian right now, and this is my Kosovo. I just refuse to acknowledge it exists. Or like the UK and other countries refuse to recognise Somaliland as a country, even though it's actually got a better functioning government that Somalia has. which is just bizarre, but we refuse to recognise it as a country. But it's like better. I mean, not saying it's better, but you know, it's functioning better. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is me. This is me. The cisgender doesn't even mean anything to me. You say it to me, and I say, I don't even know what the fuck that means. That's not even a word in my vocabulary. I'm just like, no. You can take words from me and you can add them. Whatever you want to do. You can twist what words mean. You can tell me there's words I can't say. Well, guess what? There's words I don't even believe exist. That's a made-up word. A made-up word like fucking kerfufflefish. That might even be a real fish. There's so many fucking fish. But I just, you know, it's like, it's make-believe. This is nonsense. It's like unicorn. What's a fucking unicorn? It's a mythical beast. Now, it's just something in storybooks written by lunatics. Anyway, cisgender white woman. Oh, sorry, I forgot. She said white woman as well. Assert her unassailable right to play whomever or whatever she pleases. Now, look, you're a film critic, okay? Well, now, this is what people don't like is when you start pumping politics into films, and especially if you're a film critic and you're politically leaning with your approach, like, which means like you just it's a no. If you give something 5 stars, I'm not even gonna wipe my ass with a fucking poster. All right. Anyway, she pleases. Anyway, or as Vanity Fair's film critic Kate Austin Collins puts it in a tweet, you can't just go around likening playing a tree to playing an Asian woman. Lamau, come on. She's not talking about playing an Asian woman, is she? You nutcase. Johansson's remarks are taken from a conversation with the visual artist David Sall. Or Sally, who cares, in which the pair discuss the relationship between political correctness and art. Though she doesn't mention it directly, Johansson, or Johansson, depending on your persuasion, seems to be referring to the scrutiny she received in 2016 for a role as Major Motoko Kusanagi in Rupert Sanders' Ghost in the Shell, based on the Japanese character from Masamune Shiro's cult manga series of the same name. The actress was accused of whitewashing. I mean, yeah, she personally whitewashed, but seemed to shrug it off. Johansson was slated to reunite with Sanders on Rub and Tug, in which she was to play a trans man, and massage parlor kingpin Dante Tex Gill. Following the online backlash that surfaced in 2018, she pulled out of the project. Now, she did pull out. I feel like political correctness is a trend in my business, and it needs to happen for various social reasons, yet there are times it does get uncomfortable when it affects the art, because I feel art should be free of that. Alright. Art should be free of that. In an ideal world, any actor should be able to play anybody, and art in all forms should be immune. Should be immune to political correctness. One has to ask why the Rub and Tug director Sanders hasn't been called out to release a statement. 2, maybe he doesn't give a shit. Now look, yeah, it's true. It should be immune to political correctness. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes, it's destroying art. It's destroying art. Do you know, it's the equivalent. I will conflate this. You want to go around like saying this person's like Hitler or this is like concentration camps. Well, I'll tell you this, right? If you know about Hitler, right? Hitler was a whack artist. You know, Hitler just liked stuff that was painted of stuff that existed. He didn't, and he hated the expressionist movement. If you know about, like they had, you know, the expressionist art. That they had in Germany, which is a lot of it was done by soldiers who had this internal turmoil from the horrors they seen in the trenches, and they transferred that to art, and it was crazy, and it was bright color. You know, you look it up, and it's all this stuff. It's like it's like what's internally going inside of their minds. It's like transferred onto canvas. And Hitler was like, no, I don't like that. I like a dog to be a dog, and I like to paint a field because it looks like a field. Like I just want to paint something that, you know. He hated it, and he banned it. You know, he banned it. He thought art should be a certain way, and that you shouldn't have, you know, and you shouldn't have anything abstract or anything in it. So anyone who starts like clamping down on, if you start clamping down on art because you think it shouldn't be like this, or it shouldn't have that, or that's wrong and that's wrong, then you are just like Adolf Hitler. Okay. So if you say, right, no, you can't do that because that's offensive, or you can't do that that's politically incorrect, you can't do that, that's going to upset people, or you can't do that, you know, that's going to inspire something. It's like, you're fucking Hitler, bruv. So pack your bags and off you fuck. Anyway, I recognise that in reality there is widespread discrepancy amongst my industry that favours Caucasians, cisgendered actors, and that. Sorry, that is Scarlet Johansson saying it. You know, and that not every actor has been given the same opportunities that I have been privileged to. She insisted, pleading allyship. Right? I don't know what the fuck that is. Allyship, pleading allyship. Is that a fucking word? These kind of hypothetical comments are not only pointless. They're what? They're making mainstream movies and straight cisgender stars such as. I think I missed something. What? Did I miss something? Oh, sorry. I just really buggered this one up, haven't I? These kind of hypothetical comments are not only pointless, they're actively harmful. Oh, look at you. They're actively harmful. We don't live in a hypothetical world. We exist in a real one, with limited opportunities factors, with marginalized identities, trying to make it in mainstream movies. Okay. Alright. Now, you're a film critic. Well, it says at the bottom she's a film critic, okay? That's what I'm going on. You know, I don't really, you know, I don't really look to her to see if I want to go see a film or not, but yes, there probably are marginalized groups that wanted to get into film, but you know what? Do you know what films cry out for? Is star power. Star power is still a thing. That's what sells movies. You know, Martin Scorsese is a god. To many men, a directing god. But even Martin Scorsese, with his years of brilliance, and he's made successful films as well. It's not like just like he's an auteur and he's he's had successful films. Even he needed people like Leonardo DiCaprio to get films off the ground. Star power it's called, motherfucker. Star power. That's the industry. This is something you should understand. Okay? And also, and it's like, what do you want? It's like, because it's going on the thing of, oh, she can't play someone who's transgendered. It's like, well, why not? Why not? I can't remember the actress's name, but I can't remember her name. But she's well known for, she won, this is right, she won the Best Supporting Actor Award in the 80s. I can't remember what the film's called, but it's got Mel Gibson in it, and it's one of his very early films. It's set during a revolution. It's a true story, and she plays a real-life character. It's set during the revolution in Indonesia, like back in the day. And she played this Indonesian reporter, and I can't remember the actress' name, but she's not Indonesian, and she's also not a man, but she won the Best Supporting Actor. And this is in the 80s, okay? Shit can happen. It's like someone can actually play a race they're not, and also play a gender that they're not. Because it was that convincing, won an award. Like, do you see? Just you can do it. It's like playing someone in a wheelchair. What you want to say, Daniel Day-Lewis? Oh, you should give your Oscar back for winning the Oscar for my left foot when he played a paraplegic. Because you're not a paraplegic. An actual paraplegic could have played that role. Do you not understand? If you limit something, this is why a lot of times when I was writing, I remember when I did a short film, and I was like, I never limited, especially if you're making a short film, right? Yeah, and you've got fuck all money, and you want to get the best people in it. You try not to limit yourself. That's what I do. You try not to limit yourself. So it's like, well, who's this character? Are they black? Are they white? It's like, they could be anybody as long as it's like fits the character. It's fine, because I don't care about any of that fucking any identity politics like bullshit. It's like, nah, I just want to get this made, you know. And which was good, because eventually it was like, was one thing I made, and the two best people were both black. It's like, if they were the best actors that came out of a real bad bunch of auditions. I'm telling you, there were some rotters in there. But if I'd limited myself to saying, no, it has to be exactly like this, you know, I wouldn't have, that film would have been really poo. I mean, it's not the greatest because it's one of my fucking early efforts. But like, the performances were good because they were good. So it's like, I'm glad I didn't limit myself. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you want the best person for the job. Really, it's acting. It's fucking acting. And the thing is, though, this is what pisses me off. If you don't consider to be this cisgender thing, this made-up thing that doesn't exist, right? Or you're homosexual, or you are a trans person. Let's say, look, you're a woman and you've had your dick cut off, right? But you can still pass as a dude because essentially you are a dude with your dick cut off. You can still play a man, and they'd let you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's don't fucking give me all this bullshit. You know, a straight person can play a gay person. A gay person can play a straight person. It's been happening for fucking years. A transgender person, if they can pull it off, can play whoever they want. You can. It's like, oh, there's not roles they can give. It depends on who you are, like. But you know, I hate to break it to you, but you know, it's like it's way hard. The hardest people it's going to be for is little people. You know, like dwarves and shit. Look at Peter Dinklage. He's had the you know, just the defining role for any small person. You know, in Game of Thrones, it was like it was a blessing for him. Do you know what I mean? So much so that now, because he's so successful with that, they'll be writing roles that have a short person in it. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's the major movie industry. There's such a lack of opportunities anyway. Do you know what I mean? Why are you going to fucking limit yourself and go, well, I can't play that because I am not that? It's as retarded as what Samuel Jackson said about Daniel Kaluuya when he was in Get Out. He was like, oh, because he's British, he doesn't understand the struggle of the black man in America. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's acting, bruv. This is why you do research. Do you understand it's acting? Do we have to tell people what acting is? Do I have to tell a film critic what acting is? Anyway, look, when straight, cisgender stars such as Johansson or Victor Polster in Lucas Dont's Camera Dior winning Girl, or Eddie Redmayne, who was nominated for an Oscar for his role as the Danish Girl in The Danish Girl. What was I saying? Hoover up parts that could have been played by trans actors. It's a middle finger to those with an actual stake in the material. Oh, shut the fuck up and suck my dick. I hate to be so, you know, so blunt about it. Seriously, open your mouth and suck my fucking dick, you cunt. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. They could play anyone they want to. Do you not understand how? Like, they could play anybody. You know. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ. You know, it's like you're saying trans actors. And who's like, why would you limit yourself? No, we only want trans people. What if there's no good trans actors out there? It's like, look, there's certain if you go way back to like the 70s in the UK, like I met this guy who was an actor about it. He was in Space 1999, I believe. That's what he was in. And he was one of my friend's acting agent, but he was an actor. And he said, you know, back in the 70s, it was him, and there was another black geezer. I'll get to that. Who was in? I think it was the black geezer who was in Rising Damp and stuff like that. You have to look it up. I can't remember his name. I think it was Loftus. His name was Loftus. And basically, he said, you know, back in the day, it was just him and this other guy would go for all the roles because there weren't that many black roles and there weren't that many black actors. So they were just cleaning up. It was like going, well, you know, a black role will come up going, well, that's mine or yours. It's mine or yours. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, there weren't many black actors. So why are you going to limit yourself? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why would you limit yourself? Because certain people don't want to be actors. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very brave if you have like a real small community. Let's say you want to make a film about the struggles between Tamils in London, because there are some. There's, you know, Tamils. It's a very small place, Tamil. A very small demographic, right? And we want Tamil actors. Well, you're fucked. You're fucked. Find me a Tamil actor to play a Tamil tiger who's living in London who can speak English. Find me one. Like, go find me one. Go find me one. And is he any good? You might get one who's okay. And you're fucked. You're fucked. You got this bozo there going, hang on, what? Can't remember his lines, can't act for shit. It's like, well, we needed Tamils. Do you know what I'm saying? What? Do you understand this? This is art. This is art. It's not exactly an exact representation of art. It's an interpretation of life. What are you, next thing you're going to do? Go to David Lynch and go, all this wacky shit's not true to life. Fucking nutter. Anyway. The academic and film journalist Charlie Orton, a trans man, well, he's someone we should listen to just because of that, told Sky News that realistically it's more important to get those stories out there so more people understand what it is to be trans than it is to find somebody from exactly the right background to represent that, because at the moment there aren't people. Well, here's someone who knows what they're fucking talking about. Exactly. Thank you for stating the absolute obvious, which... voicing concerns that a backlash might discourage studios from making films about marginalised identities at all. Indeed, Johansson's statement cites a statistic from GLAAD claiming that LGBTQ plus characters dropped 40% in 2017 from the previous year, with no representation of trans characters in any major studio release. Yet the argument that some representation is better than none suggests that mere awareness, insufficient political work, or worse, that straight, white, cisgender Hollywood actors should be celebrated for aligning themselves with films that profit from identity politics without embodying them. Like, if we think identity politics is bullshit, how about that? It's bullshit. The whole thing's bullshit as far as I'm concerned. So like, you just, do one. Hollywood's cringe. You're cringe. You can all do one. When Johansson says she feels art should be free of restrictions, what it sounds like is that she should be free of restrictions. Such entitlement is galling and predictable, but it's also gauche, showing a lack of self-awareness and media savvy. Celebrities don't need to be woke to make good art. Sorry, she said woke. She said woke. I had to give a little clap. She said woke. But it's embarrassing to see them so comfortable taking up space that isn't theirs. Jesus Christ, you actually say taking up space that isn't theirs. Like you're entitled. Like people are entitled. But just because you are this, therefore you should play this. That's absolutely ridiculous. Well, what's next? How do you play? Like, I'm like part Welsh. I've got a little bit of Russian Jew in me. I'm also severely dyslexic. Someone has to... I need the exact criteria to play my life story, which would be a fucking belter, especially right now. Like, honestly, the sex scenes that would be fantastic. I'm telling you, motherfuckers, this is nonsense. This is nonsense land. You're living in nonsense land. You need to leave nonsense land. No one cares. That's the thing, and no one should care. No one should care too much. Like, if you've got the mentality and the drive and the talent, then you can do whatever. But Scarlett Johansson isn't going to play Harriet Tubman, is she? All right. Okay. Benedict Cumberbatch is not going to play Barack Obama. Okay. And here's a newsflash for you as well, just in case you didn't realise. Denzel Washington isn't going to play Winston Churchill. Okay. Okay. So it's not like you can do whatever you want, because there are limits to it. But there is some room for manoeuvre out there. Absolutely. Simran Hans, the film critic for The Observer. Well, do not take any of her recommendations. You will be wasting a lot of money.